Good morning. It is morning. Today is Monday, the 19th of February. Yeah, February. We're off to a good start already. It is 11:15 in the morning. I am coming to you. Shall I tell you who I am first? My name is Lucy. You can find me on the Instagrams as country_bumps or on Ravelry as country bumps. Welcome to any new viewers. There have been a few new subscribers from the last episode. Today is episode 36. Did I already say that? I'm not sure if I did, but it is episode 36. I'm doing quite well with the regular podcasting, aren't I? It's not 6 months between podcasts anymore. Doing all right. It's probably, 2-3 weeks? Sound like a confession now, don't I? So, yes. Hello to any new it's going in its usual direction, as you can tell. Yes, welcome to any new viewers. There have been a few of you. And welcome back to any returning viewers. It's good to have you back. Nice to be with you. My cowlicks are on point today, aren't they? Look at them, fellas. I sort of half dried my hair and then let the rest of it dry naturally. So this is spectacular. I'm well overdue for a haircut, but again, that's a tangent. See, we're only literally 1.5 minutes in, and how many tangents have we had? Probably 4 or 5. So that's the way it's going to go this morning. Not used to recording in the morning, but I've got a meeting this afternoon, so it was either now or it's not going to happen until probably another 2 weeks. So we're doing it now. Apologies for the poop show, but we're keeping it real. I haven't got a huge amount to show, considering I've had 2 weeks off work. I thought I'd have a lot more. I intended to have a lot more. I intended to do all sorts of stuff while I had my 2 weeks off. I'm back to work tomorrow. Don't want to go back to work tomorrow. Quite enjoy just lazing around doing nothing. But I need funds for the yarn, so needs must. Needs must. My husband is not keeping me in the lap of luxury that I deserve, obviously, so I have to go out to work. Sorry, I just needed to wet my whistle. We've got a few things, but yeah, so the 2 weeks didn't start off brilliantly because on the Monday, so the first day of my 2 weeks off, I had a tooth out. I had quite a large tooth out here. It was fine. I didn't cry. The nurse held my hand. I did some deep breaths, put my big girl pants on, and we did it. Actually, the dentist was... I have an innate fear of dentists from childhood. I had too many teeth. When my big teeth came through, I had too many. So by the age of 11, probably younger than that, it was on my last year of primary, so I'd have been 10, 11. I had 12 teeth out. So I had 10 teeth out. I had 6, 3 each side here, and 2 each side up here. So, dentist is not my friend. Back in the 80s, dentists weren't as nice as they are now. But this one was absolutely... He listened to my worries. He was like, "We'll stop at any point you want to stop." And literally, the longest bit was waiting for my mouth to go numb. And the tooth was out. He did it so quickly. It was like literally 2 minutes and it was out. But recovery's taken a little bit of time. I think there was still some infection there from the abscess. So it's still not healed completely now, and it's literally 2 weeks today. I don't know, my face is still a little bit swollen, or is it just fat? Might be just fat. But yes, so that was a bit traumatic. So I had that done on the Monday. The Tuesday, I'm sure I had something on. Oh, I think I had a meeting in the evening. I had a committee meeting in the evening on the Tuesday. And by Wednesday, I was just like, I just needed a day. So I had a nice bath I had a luxurious bath in the morning, which is very unusual. and had like a pajama day on the sofa watching probably rubbish or podcasts. Not rubbish podcasts, but rubbish as in stuff I'd seen before, so I didn't have to concentrate on it. Yeah, but I've had a busy 2 weeks actually. I've not had many days where I've been home like all day. So I didn't get. It's, you know what it's like. You have all these grand plans, don't you, of time off and just keeping it real. It didn't happen. It just didn't happen. One of my whips I'll talk about, and I'll talk about why I probably haven't got as much done as I wanted to get done. But we'll have that discussion in a minute about guilt from doing one hobby when you feel you should be doing another because you've given yourself a stupid deadline. But we'll talk about that in a minute. So yeah, so my 2 weeks off, I haven't really achieved a lot, to be honest. Or I feel I haven't achieved a lot. I should paraphrase that. I have achieved a lot. I did a lot of cooking, which before the 2 weeks off, I'd sort of got a bit lax with that and was using a lot of stuff that we'd already had like out of the freezer. So top the freezer back up with a few meals and things like that. So because they're always handy to have when it's like a busy week. This week's a busy week. I'm trying to, make sure that we eat right and things like that. It's not always easy, is it? That's another tangent for another day, I suppose. So yes, so let's get on with what we're here for. I have 3 finished objects, and I'm trying to not be rude, 2 whippers. That's it. So it's going to be a short one. But I did say if we're going to do more regular episodes, it would be a short one. So FOs. My first one we'll talk about is a big one. This is the Penguono by Stephen West that I have knit for Claire at Bird Street Yarn. So this is all out of Bird Street Yarn. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. I haven't blocked it, and I'm not going to block it because I don't want, when I blocked mine, it grew quite a lot, and I don't want to make it too big for Claire because she is tiny and I'm not tiny. So so I'm not going to block it. I'm going to let Claire block it if she wants to. I don't think it needs blocking. Possibly a light steaming, if that. But here we go in all its glory. So that's one of the fronts. This is the other front, which pretty much matches. Then we've got the back with beautiful welts and side panels. And I do a garter stitch back because it's supposed to be done in seed stitch, but I'm going to talk about seed stitch in a minute with my other project. I don't like it. It's not my friend. So I said to Claire, I'll knit you one on the proviso that I can do a garter back, which is what I did on my own one. So this is all, as I said, all Bird Street yarn. I do the medium-sized Penguono using 3 strands of fingering weight held together on a 6mm needle. Is that all I need to tell you? I think so. And this came out at like 3,400 grams, something like that. I've left my other notebook in the other room and I'm not going to go and get it. And it's all finished off. So on the bottom, I did some stripes for the bottom border. And then it's all finished off with a beautiful I-cord. All the ends are woven in. The welts, they're not my favourite thing to knit, but they do look so good. So that is the Penguono. by Stephen West. Like I said, it's 3, and you can do it as scrappy, you know. Rach did one, I think I said it before, Rach did one and used nothing more than like a 10-gram scrap throughout the whole of the thing, and it looks amazing. And I don't know, I've got a bit of paper. I write, because I'm a nerd and I track all my meters in and meters out, etc. I had a piece of paper and I wrote every section. I weighed my yarn before and after, and so I know how much yard is, exactly how much each section took. So if you're interested, leave a comment and I'll show it to you on the next podcast. My next FO again is a Bird Street yarn. So if you're playing the drinking game, bottoms up. So it is a muscle bra hat. I'm going to do a close-up of the yarn because this is it's blowing out. It's more of a minty colour than it's showing. This is Bird Street yarn on their Nep base in the willow colourway. You can see all those brown flecks are all the Neps that come out. So this is the Muscle Bra by Ysolda Teague. So you start at one end with a pinhole cast on, then you do some increases. This is done by gauge, so you knit like an inch, work out what, it's a bit fiddly, work out what your gauge is, and then decide what size you want to do. I think it's the adult medium, which is the second to last size. I do mine on a 3.5mm needle. 3.5. Bum holes. I didn't write down. It's either a 3.25 or a 3.5. I'm not sure. I've written it down in my show notes anywhere. Whips, muscle bra. No. It's useful, isn't it? No. Even go back to the I think it is a 3.25 actually. Yeah. 3.25mm. Needles. And I get a gauge of about 7.5 stitches, I think. So it's really clever in the pattern. It tells you, you know, for that gauge, for that size, increase to so many stitches, and then you're just knitting round and round and round and round, and then you do some decreases at the other end, and then you go, so it goes down to the same. And then the idea is you end up with a double thick hat because you shove one end inside the other. And if you're going to unravel this weekend, unravel is this weekend. From Saturday onwards, this will be on the Bird Street stand. I'm going to lend it to them as a sample, so you can see how the Nep knits up. And Rach has knit John a beautiful flax light sweater in the Nep. It's like a brownie coloured. I can't remember what the colourway is, but if you look on John's Instagram, so Rach knit a sample. So this is the, I'm going to take my glasses off because I look like a village idiot. I might look even more like a village idiot now without my glasses on. So it's quite slouchy, or you can pull it down and then fold the brim up. So it makes like a quadruple brim. Let's get the hair out of the way. So you could have like 4 layers over your ear rolls. You can see the colour a bit better there as well. Beautiful. So I knit Nigel one for, and that was out of a Bird Street yarn too. I can't remember what it was. So I knit Nigel one, and he wears it like all winter when he's working outside, because he likes like a skull cap type. He doesn't like a slouchy hat. He likes like a tight fitting hat, so he then folds the brim up, which gives him a little bit more protection from the wind from his ears. Yeah, so he wears it all winter. So, but they're really good, mindless. Once you get past the increases, it's like 20 odd inches of just stockinette. I can't see anything now because I haven't got my glasses on. Hence the blinking, because my eyes are trying to focus. That's better. Yeah. Glasses are filthy. I don't realise how foggy stuff is until you take your glasses off and put them back on again. Yeah. So that's the Musselburgh by Isolde Teague. And then I have finished my February gnome. So as of yesterday, I literally only had one thing that I was going to talk about because I had no finished objects. Oh yeah, I finished this on Saturday and then started my February gnome. So this is a Granola of Grimblewood. Oh, beard's a bit wonky, but that gives her character. So she's got a little stripy hat. And then look at her little pockets that she can put her hands in. So her hands come out, her arms come out, her little noses, and her beard. And I've put some, those poly bead things. I didn't want to use rice or lentils or anything like that because it's quite damp where we are. So they would go manky. So I bought some poly beads. And I made like I had some felt, so I made like a little felt disc that I then filled with the poly beads so that they're not rattling around in there on their own. So she stands up quite well. She looks really wonky, but she's not. So, but I just love the little pockets. So the little pockets that open from the side. But she had, so this is by Imagine Landscapes, not lamb, land. So the yarn, so Imagine Landscapes on Instagram and Ravelry. She's got a whole collection of gnomes that she's just brought. This is the one from the first Grimblewoods collection, and the second Grimblewoods collection that was exclusive to Jimmy Beans has now been released. So she's releasing 2 each week over the next, excuse me, the next 4 weeks. He's so cute. She is so cute. Granola. So the yarns I used, the 2 yarns in the hat and the body yarn are from, if you watched my last episode, the mini skein set from Pixie Yarns, which is the Barefoot Fade set. And to try and keep some cohesiveness throughout my gnomes, I'm using the same beard colour, which is the Resurrection Stone by Homespun House, and the pink of the nose and the little handies is Blossom by Sarah's Texture Crafts, which is like old. She doesn't even dye anymore. Yeah. And on the Imagine Landscapes YouTube channel, there are tutorials for, from starting to finishing, like where you sew, how you sew bits on, where you sew them, techniques for picking up stitches, techniques for I-cord, stuffing, all that. So literally you could, so everything is on there. I did tack the hat down, but yes, so that's my February gnome done. So that's all my FOs. This was 90% done. I literally only needed to do the decreases. So this is a 400 meter skein of yarn, so 100 grams. The last Musselburgh I made, I ran out of yarn doing the decreases. So now I weigh so until I've got about 14-15 grams, and then I start the decreases. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. Ugh, excuse me. It's tree sex weather time of year, so all the trees are putting out their pollen. The catkins are releasing pollen like you would not believe. So yeah, hence the sneezing. Oh, tangents. See, tangents. Where was I going? That's right. So I weighed this until I had 15 grams left. Then I did the decreases, and I ended up with a little nub of about 3 or 4 grams left, which will go into my granny square, my big scrappy blanket. That's it for FOs. Whippers. Oh no, there's another FO. I lied. I'm sure you've all seen these on the Instagram, but there ain't a rabbit hole, or a bandwagon even, should I say. But it will be a rabbit hole because I feel there's going to be more in my future. There's a thing called the travelling sewing case, and I've been looking for something for ages to, like, when I go to quilt group, if I need to take a sewing kit. I haven't really got anything that's like pretty. So these are all over Instagram. It's just a travel jewellery box that you basically rip the guts out of, cover it in fabric, and make it look pretty. I'm not sure whether to glue these bits in. I don't think I'm going to because they move. So I've got in here needles, a little needle book, my glue pen, some threads. That ribbon needs to come out because that was for a specific project. So just some like neutrally coloured threads at the minute. If I need anything specific, then I'll change them out. I've got some pins. We made these one night at quilt group. So it's just like a mini. So this is a needle, but I haven't sewn the felt in yet. I will do that next time I'm at my sewing machine. So just a little needle book, a little like thread catcher, but it all folds up, so it's really cute. And then a little tiny little pin cushion. Yeah, so we made those at quilt group one night. I've got my needle threader I got this from So Sweet Violet. So you flick this little dude up, you put your thread over. It's really difficult, it probably won't focus, but you put your thread over that little bit. There's a little like notch here that you put your needle on, and then put your needle on first, sorry, then you put your thread in that notch, slide your needle over, and it threads you, because my old lady eyes can't see anymore to thread anything. I've got a thimble which is like a silicone squishy one, and I've just put some clips in there just because you never know. And then in this bit up here, I've just got scissors at the moment and a pencil. I might put one like those friction markers in there. So yeah, so I use this. I use this lovely. It's got like a metallic gold with some pink flowers on it, and so that's on the base there as well. So I made like a cardboard template, covered it in fabric, shoved that in the bottom. Yeah, and then sewed this little bit along the top of the elastic. That was a bit fiddly, but that's where these sort of clips are your friend, because that held it all in place. Yeah. And then, so that's going to be perfect for taking to quilt group or any workshops that I do or anything like that. Because we like a rabbit hole. So on to whips. 25 minutes and we're at the whipper stage already. This huge thing is So this is how it's gonna be. This is the front. I know it looks like a shawl, but it is actually going to be a jumper. This is the Mold Magic sweater, and you can make it a dress, but I think because I'm only short, it's probably going to end up a dress anyway. This picture doesn't really do it justice. Let me find a better one. My printer, when I printed it like back to back, but I did it the wrong way, so it's like one side's upside down. So this obviously hasn't had any ends woven in. So this is what it's going to look like. So this here is the front section. So that's this section. So it's all modular. So you're picking up bits, so you can see I've got stuff on hold. This is my cute little... We went to Rachel's for a crafting day last week, and Rachel's... This was some of her practice. Look at the glitter in my little... Jelly baby. No, gummy bear. Not jelly baby. So yeah. So yarns I'm using... Oh, there's another little gummy bear. Rach is hopefully opening her Etsy shop soon, aren't you, Rach? I'm being cruel now because we've got this standing joke of how's your Etsy shop going, Rach? So there's a bit of brioche. My nemesis, that is seed. Look at the size of that seed stitch section. It's not my friend. Literally just finished another seed stitch section last night. I think that's all of the seed stitch done now, and if there is any more, it's not going to be happening. I will do garter instead. So you've got, so it's I think he did the dress, the sweater after he did the Mold Magic. I'm going to take this off because I'm roasting. He did the sweater after he did the Mold Magic shawl, which was a mystery knit along. So, like I say, it's all modular. It's got this, which is the right side? That side. So it's got the mesh. Once it's blocked, it's going to be... So you've got mesh, you've got reverse, like, knit purl bumps. This was supposed to be striped, but because it's going right on my front, I was like, I'm not striping. So, and this has got suri held with it. Then seed stitch, brioche. The next section I'm doing is brioche. Again, some knit purl bumps. This yarns I've used loads. I've just went through my stash, picked out, because what started me off with this was Rach did one all in greens, all different greens. So I just went through and found like all my purple, so you Bex, all my purples and pinks and like magentaries, that sort of colour family. I picked out some others, but they were too red, so they went back. And some are scraps, some are minis. Again, I'm keeping track of every different section to see how much it uses for when I make the next one. Going through project pages when Imogen started one, and I think Soph's thinking about making one. So we were looking through project pages, and Imogen found one where this central panel here and the back middle panel were like a real hot pink, and the rest of it was greys, different greys. And at Unravel last year, I don't know if I can find it, I bought, hold please, oh, earthquake, from Bird Street. There it is. I knew it was close. I bought, let's swing back around. There we go. Sorry about that, earthquake. I bought this like limey green beautifulness. It's the Zing colourway from Bird Street Yarn, and I bought 3 skeins, I think. So sorry, I meant to say that this is all fingering weight held double. So yeah, as I was saying, as we were going through project pages, Imogen found this one that was bright pink here. But then I was like, oh, I've got that. And I think that with a mixture of greys either side, I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to do it. Oh, you can see my sheep now. I've moved over a bit. I got these I think I got them at Southern Wool Show. It's little sheep, little black sheep. Because that's me. I'm the black sheep of the family. Yeah, so I think that's what's going to happen. So yarns, I'm using Pixie yarns. I've got a bit of Bird Street in there. I've got some of my own hand dyed. I've got some Nora George. I've got some Lay Family yarn. So yeah, it's a mixture of it. When it's finished, I'll go through all the yarns that I used. And just how I'm marling them together. So there's like quite a bit that's the same yarns but marled different with different things. So this is the fluff that's in here held with the sock yarn that's the same colour, but you can see how it alters doing it with a different, so it's the same fluff of that colour but with a different sock yarn. So see how it changes. I don't know where that came from and I don't know what that was about, but there we go. So I'm going to just break it here because I get cut off at 40 minutes and I'm going to get into a whole thing now. So I'm going to stop and then start another video. See my little giraffe buddy too. So this is a giraffe amigurumi patterned by Cornflake Stew on Etsy. And you've seen these on the podcast before. I have made loads of these because they make really cute baby gifts. So she just hangs out there because she's cute. And that's my little cat from Rach that she gave me for my birthday last year. Was it birthday? Yeah, it was birthday last year. Oh my god. 2 months. We've got 2 months till the birthday, people. 48 this year. How have I got to 48? So, right. I set myself the challenge of, I'm going to go back to what I was talking about when you're doing one hobby and you feel guilty because you should be doing the other one. I think this is why I haven't achieved a lot on my 2 weeks off, because I set myself a challenge of trying to get this done for Unravel this weekend. I've got 2 weeks off. No problem. It's a DK weight sweater. Easy to do in 2 weeks. Lucy Jane, need to put yourself in a corner and have a word with yourself. Because there ain't no way it's getting done. I think if I had literally knitted for every minute of every day, then yes, I probably could have got it finished. But there are sections in this that took me, for that seed stitch bit took me like 3 days because I was like, I'm not feeling it. Other bits I've done like 2 sections in a day. But I would come in. This is my craft room, so all my sewing, my quilting stuff, sewing stuff, everything's in here. And I would come in and I would like start cutting fabric because I want to get some quilting blocks done. So I'd start cutting fabric and then I'm like, no, I should be knitting because I've got to get this done for Unravel. So I had the guilt. Every time I was in here, it was like, I should be knitting. Every time I was knitting, I was like, I really want to be doing that. Why do we do it to ourselves? The whole, it was my stupid idea. It was my stupid challenge. It was my stupid putting pressure on myself. And Friday evening, I did have a word with myself and I was like, look, this ain't going to be finished. don't put yourself under that pressure. Just don't do it. Just put it to one side. Go and do what you want to do. So I came in here. I cut some fabric out for some blocks. I still haven't sewn them. I cut some fabric. I want to make this as well. This is a Neela Hoey. Oh, it's really bad. I think it's Hoey. Hoey. It's called the Flip Pocket Folio, and I think it's got 6 pockets, so it's like does what it says on the tin. Which I think, again, if I'm doing a bigger project at quilting or something like that, I've got everything, or if I'm going to a workshop, I can put everything in that that I won't fit in this fella. So, but I can't read. So I went to the shop and I bought a metre of all the fabric that I wanted. I'm using the same fabric that I made my handbag out of at the last workshop, which is this fabric. Oh, oops. God forbid I was organised. So this is going to be my front cover. This is my inside lining, but I also need that for... I need it. I need more of that. But I bought a 1/4 metre of... But I bought a running quarter and not a fat quarter. I also needed 2 fat quarters of this red, which is going to be like my pocket linings and stuff, which is all exactly the same as what I made my handbag out of. So I can't read, so I've got to go back to the fabric shop at some point and buy more fabric. But because I bought a running quarter and not a fat quarter, I didn't have enough to cut one big piece of this for the front, so I've had to cut it, join it, but where it's going to be where it folds, so it'll look purposeful, I think. So yeah, so that was something else I was going to make on my 2 weeks off, but never got done because A, guilt, and B, can't read. And when I say I need to go to the fabric shop, it's literally 5 minutes down the road, but I haven't been into town and I'm saving my pennies for Unravel this weekend, so when I get paid I'll go and get more fabric. I'll talk about that in a minute. So my second whip is my socks that I want to get done for February. So I might take these as train knitting when we go to Unravel at the weekend, because we're going on the train. I worked out today. I will be leaving the house at just before 6:30. And I won't be home till nearly 10 o'clock. The things we do for yarn. But I'm not complaining because I love me a yarn show and I love Unravel. So this is a sock tube that I cranked on my vintage Imperial sock machine. The yarn is a Fab Funky Fibers. It's going to be a day. Fab Funky Fibers in the Drama Club colourway, and for contrast I'm going to use this, which is a Socks Yeah, which are brilliant by Coop Knits for heels, toes and cuffs. They come in 50 grams. This is the Chryso colourway. So I thought that would work quite well with these. So they are pretty cool. So last night I split the tube into 2. So it was joined there. So I measure out, work out where halfway is. I can get a pair of socks for me easily out of 50 grams. Which this was a 50 gram skein. So I use my needles so I will knit a cuff there and a toe there, or the other way around. No, up there. I'll do a toe on, because this was the top. So I'll do a toe on this one and a cuff on that one. So I'll have to remember pink cuff. And then, so on the bottom, I've just got these stitch holders from Clover. Because I had waste yarn here and there between. So when I crank my socks, I'll do like 4 pairs or like 4 tubes or whatever. So I wind the yarn, and you have to wind it onto a cone. So on my winder, I got an electric winder for Christmas. Santa was very good to me. So I have these cones that come off. So I bought extra because it came with 2. So I bought an extra 5 because it came in packs of 5. When I bought Santa bought me an extra 5 when I bought the one. And I'll tell you what, an electric winder, it's like a dream. It is a dream. I've wanted one for ages, and I did loads of overtime at Christmas. Of like 3 weeks, I had 2 days off in 3 weeks, so I did loads of overtime at Christmas because I knew there wouldn't be a lot around in January and February. So Santa very kindly bought me an electric yarn winder. So you wind it onto these. I wind it onto these cones because it doesn't wind around the bottom. So when you're cranking, you don't get that tension from the bottom. So it cranks really easily. There's loads of stuff under my... Sorry, I've got a unit there and there's loads of stuff under it. I can't work out what it is. So hopefully these will... So I'll take these as train knitting. But if I just want some mindless knitting during the week, then I'll start a cuff or a toe or something. If I don't feel like doing my mild magic, which will be... I'm hoping it'll be done by the end of February, because my February stats are going to look fantastic then, especially as I'm going to have quite a bit of yarn coming in because it's yarn show week. I'm aiming to get... I want to get... keep my eye out for greys, different greys, while we're at Unravel. Because I'm either going to do a grey Penguin or a grey Mild Magic. I might wait till I've finished that one to see how I like it, how it fits, how it looks on, whether it looks like a tent or not. Is that it? Let me check my book. So yeah, I didn't get any sewing done. I got fabric cut for one quilt block. I might get that sewn in a minute while this is processing. But I'm on the committee for the quilt group, so I've got a committee meeting this afternoon, so we might not get that done today. Back to work tomorrow. Yay! So working Wednesday, Thursday. This is Tuesday, Wednesday, which is why I don't think I'm going to get that wouldn't have been finished in time. Because I'm in 8 till 3 tomorrow. Or Wednesday afternoon. Thursday we've got a quiz night for WI on Thursday, where we invite other WI, so we do a supper. So I've got to get shopping for that. I've got to make whatever I'm making. I think I'm doing cheese and pineapple. So that's Thursday out the window, because I'll be out all Thursday evening. And then Friday I'll only have the morning because I'm working in the afternoon. So it wouldn't have happened it would not have happened. So I've resigned myself to that fact, and I'm actually it's been a relief because I've been able to get on with other things. So that muscle bro, I started the decreases. So I had a word with myself on Friday about not finishing the Mile of Magic. Started the decreases on the muscle bro Friday evening. Finished it Saturday morning. Then I started my gnome. After we did all our Saturday morning chores like shopping, food shop, picking up prescription from the doctors, I had to get something from the post office because somebody had not put enough postage on it. What else did we do? I'll drop stuff to the scrap store. I had to sort out. Rach had to sort out. Oh, that was another thing I did while I was on. I did manage to do was I went through all of my. I've got a bookcase there with all my patterns on it. So all my quilting patterns, quilting books, sewing patterns, like dressmaking patterns. I went through them all. I had a good sort out what I wasn't going to make. I had some like old like simplicity patterns that I bought ages ago, and I was like, I'm never going to make them. And I went through all of my like indie patterns, and like Tilly and the Buttons and all that. They're indies. And worked out what I wanted to make. So I have a list now of what I want to make. So I just need to go through my fabrics and decide what I'm going to use for that. But the first, I didn't bring it in. The first thing on my list is the Studio Tunic by So Liberated. Oh, bum hug. Hang on. Hold, please. So this is my... Oh, balls. Sorry. This is my binder of all my thing. So I've put them all in folders. So it's the Studio Tunic. You're not going to be able to... Yeah, it's a So Liberated. I haven't got anything... I've printed the instructions out. I got this over Christmas. There's a company called the Fold Line who do... They're like a pattern distributor, I suppose. And they did an advent calendar of like different things having money off over during Christmas. So this was one of their, I think it was 20% off the pattern. It's either 20 or 25% off, and it's something. Rachel's made one, Claire at Bird Street made one. So, and also for Christmas I was given a gift voucher to So Much More, which is my local dressmaking fabric shop. Unfortunately she doesn't stock So Liberated patterns, or I sort of got the pattern from her as well. So going back to the Fold Line, and they send them in these cool, comes with this cool envelope of so you can, I thought I had a postcard of, yeah, I have. So this is like your project envelope, your pattern envelope. So there we go, the Fold Line, and they're really good. So you can buy the digital pattern from them and they'll print it for you. It takes about a week or so, but every week they do a roundup of like new patterns that have come out, or like what's hot, or like, you know, if it's fashion week, this is on the catwalk but this pattern could work, you know, or whatever. So I've actually used them quite a lot for stuff, and it's just an email that drops into my inbox normally on a Friday, I think. But their Instagram feed is really good as well. So if you're not following them and you do dressmaking, they're well worth a follow. Yeah. So it's called the Fold Line. So that's the next thing I want to make. So as I was saying, I got a voucher from Jess at So Much More. So I'm going to make one in a black like baby needle cord. I think, but I just need to work out how much fabric I need to buy. When we went to Rachel's on, when did we go to Rachel? Wednesday. I got Rachel to measure me properly. So we worked out I'm very rectangular. I'm very much pretty much the same measurement all the way down. So I'm like a little tiny rectangle. So there. Oh, I do make myself laugh sometimes. Got to be done with it. Got to be self-deprecating sometimes. So yeah. Is that it? I think that's it. That's it. Oh, it's all in my show notes. So thank you very much. It was a bit longer than I anticipated, which is good. We went on a couple of tangents. Like I say, Unravel next Saturday. We will be there. I think our train gets in at like 10:30ish. So we'll be there from 11 at the latest, I would say, just in case there's a delay or something. And we'll be there till it finishes, till it closes up. We might leave a little bit early, depending on. I think it finishes at like 4:30. Then we're going to wander to the Sainsbury's, get some food for a train picnic on the way home. Yeah, so we've only got one change, which is good as well. We change at Woking, and then from Woking we go all the way into Exeter then. That's it. So if you're there, come and say hello. Don't be shy. I'm quite partial to a hug, a hello. Come see me. Come say hi. Other than that, there's not a lot going on the next couple of weeks. So hopefully. So I'll be back hopefully in a couple of weeks to show you what I bought. Hopefully we'll have some FOs. And we might have some new whippies because we'll have our end of month stats because it'll be March by then, I would imagine. It'll be beginning of March, I imagine I'll be back. It's been lovely to spend time with you. I have been your host, Lucy. Thank you. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. It just helps me get out there to other people because I'm at about 470 subscribers now. So if we get to 500, there will be a giveaway. Yeah. So I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Take care. Be good. Bye-bye.